All right, welcome to the Eternity Living Podcast with your host, Ty. I'm here today with a special guest, monumental guest, anointed guest, powerful guest, somebody who's going to shake the room and really be a game changer here in the community of Durham as well as in the country, I believe. I think it's bigger than Durham. So I'm here with Lady V today. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you. I know we got a lot to talk about today. First off, I like to open up the show just asking people like, how did we become acquainted from their standpoint?
Okay. Wow. We became acquainted. I feel like, when you first came to the church as a musician, super shy, not talking, just sitting in the corner smiling, and it didn't move the way I thought it should from that standpoint.
Yeah.
But I feel like, when you started working with the youth and started helping out with the conference and stuff, it just helped to solidify the relationship.
Right. I was shy. I'm not gonna lie. So I always had this thing. When I get in the room with people that I know can sing, play, know music, I always scale back on myself. So I get nervous.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was playing for a Prince tribute with Marcus Anderson. I was opening up for them with a group that I was playing for. It was in the green room. And I think this is kind of like what I'm working on and what I learned. They was like, Ty, you always getting nervous, man. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Like, they just bugging me. And Marcus said that he was like, Ty, I get nervous too before every show. And I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, you done play with Prince, you done play with all these different people, bro. And like, you just on the stage, you look like you do this in your sleep. He was like, no, I get nervous too. So it allowed me to like go back on myself. So even with that opportunity, I was working on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't press through it yet.
Yeah.
So it's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
It's something I'm working on.
Same here. Honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know whoever overcomes that, especially when you're doing it for God, especially when you are trying to, humble yourself and allow Him to use you. It's nerve-wracking because you want somebody to be touched. You want, Him to have His way. You want Him to, set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure. So I'm always shaking.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and it's one of those things. Like, I think mine is room for error. Like, is there a room for error? Because if it's not, I don't know if I'm your guy. To be real. And you could be like, well, you need to practice, you need to know. But it's like, no, man, sometimes thoughts come into my head. Like, I can't play for certain churches because of the structure. I know I got to play it exactly like the track.
Yeah.
And so definitely CCM churches. I so I can do it, and I done it, but it's not my thing. I like the flow. And I think too, which we're going into who you are, I like the flow.
Yeah.
And so I guess how I met Lady V, like she said, was I came to the church.
Yeah.
I was a musician, came in. As soon as I heard her voice, I got a little shook. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little intimidated. But I think by the end of that practice, I felt okay. I was okay a little bit. But you are an artist.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Come on now. Come on, say that. Tell the people what you do. Come on now.
I'll take it. Yeah. Wow. I've never had that title. Honestly.
Come on.
But praise and worship, writing music, acting. A lot of people don't know that I do that.
Wow.
Yeah, but I like to. Maybe I'm like that. Michelangelo, like that Picasso, more Picasso style with my music and with anything that I do, because I don't like staying in the lines. I don't like putting God in that kind of box.
Yeah.
I really love the freedom because that's been the only way I felt free.
Yeah.
Never in life, have I, especially as a first lady now, where you feel like, you have to do everything cookie cutter. You gotta, so you don't want to offend the people. You don't want to, give yourself a bad name. You have this title and you gotta live this way, talk this way, dress this way, look this way. So everything else has to be so structured. Even with being a mom, like you got, bedtime, eat, school, homework, everything is so structured, and music is my outlet. Color outside the lines and choose whatever color you want.
Yeah.
Make a color, like that's my style.
Yeah. And it's dope because I think like even relating, I think when we had a little vibe session in that first practice, it was more of a flow. It was like, and that's why I said I love that because I'm such a creative and I may not play the same thing twice the same way too.
Right. Forget. It just flowed out.
It just flowed out. So you're like, dang, what did I do? But it hit, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I am. I'm like, man, like, and so I, like you said, we can't keep God in a box. Right. Even with the scene of music, like gospel music. And I remember one of the artists, I want to say it was Travis Malloy or Travis Green, one of them went into the club one day and actually they broke out in worship in the club.
Oh, nice.
It was a video on YouTube. I was like, yo, this is, and people literally pouring out liquor and stuff in the club.
Oh, man.
I was like, yo,
look that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can send it to you, but yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm talking about. Because it's almost like, people feel like once you are saved or have a title or whatever, you have to stay there. You have to be confined to be identified in a certain place. If you are a pastor, they can't see you go to a concert that's not gospel. They can't see you go to a comedy show that's, that has cussing, and as if we're no longer human. And I don't want to, talk too much, but you just get tired of people putting restrictions on you that God doesn't even put on you. Right. I know we're called to live holy and we're peculiar people. I get all of that. But to say that we, can't enjoy other things, I don't know, it's kind of hurtful. I feel like that's why some people would prefer not to be saved. Yeah. Because it's too many rules and regulations. And I'm going to shut up before I mess up too much.
No, you good. Because I see it though. Like, and I have this conversation a lot because one, I don't tell a lot of people, but I just be honest. I always want to be a youth pastor. That was my whole thing. And so I went through some things, perception. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. Like I never desired it though until maybe 2015. So probably after college. Because I saw the fruit of it in college. So when I got kicked out, I came back, I went to a church, started learning more about faith, started learning more about fasting, stuff like that. And then when I went back to school, I actually started like a little Bible study. So like with my peers and like the ones that was in there, like, yo, like, yeah, T, like, let's do this. And then we had our first one that was like, yo, I like this. And so I remember one day I put out like, hey, who needs prayer? And then I get 30 people, 40 people just like, pray for me, pray. So when people trust you to pray for them, that's different. You see what I'm saying? And so after that, I started kind of desiring it because of the youth, because of coaching basketball and stuff like that. I always want to be a chaplain. So I was like, that's why I got into basketball coaching, to be a chaplain. But then the coach was like, nah, you got a basketball background. You're going to coach. Yeah. But I just used who I was to cultivate the relationships with those. And so, yeah, I always wanted to kind of turn into a youth pastor, but it goes back to what you were saying. Like, I don't know if I can give up the old 50 Cent and all this music we used to listen to, the Fabulous, and like it just hit on some days. Like you ride through the city, you want to bump, but then if you're a pastor and somebody recognize you bumping you get what I'm saying? Like you are condemned.
From that day forward, pull out the nails,
it's over.
The wood, it's over.
It's over for you.
You're right.
So yeah, so I've been scared about that. So the fact that you're in it, I know that there's a lot of attacks. Definitely when I said like anointing, like every Sunday we be in church, and just seeing how you minister to the people, I'm like, this is that dry bone experience where you have a leader who can say something and then dry bones become healed. You see what I'm saying? Through the power of God that's running through you. So I know it's a lot of attacks, I know it. So
it's funny you should mention that because I encountered a Sunday where how you're just like not hanging on by a thread, but hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
As far as not trying to be so caught up in your emotions and so much is going on. And I've had Sundays where I just don't push me, don't give me too much attitude, don't give me too much kickback. And some Sundays it's just like, we do the prayer, I get my mind together, I start worshiping early. I actually start on Saturdays just so that I can wake up with it in my spirit. My husband is playing, preaching on YouTube, and we're both. I might have my earbuds in, and we're sharing the TV, and it's just to get, the house saturated with His presence, so that we can bring it to His house.
Yeah.
And so there are Sundays where it's just like, people are calling out, people are late, people are, they come in and they're frustrated already, and then you have to say, hey, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. So, you be the encourager and all of that. And I'll use the Sunday where, my brother we had got that news that he needed to go into the hospital immediately for them to start running tests because his vision was in jeopardy.
Yeah.
My brother is super healthy, so it knocked you off guard, right?
Yeah.
Just like, who? But then the assignment is these people are coming in here expecting you to bring it, right? They don't care if you're dry.
Yeah.
They don't care if you're going through, and not in a negative way, but it's like, but I came to church, I pressed my way here to get here to hear something, to feel something, to encounter something. And that pressure where I've had to learn how to detach. If I got to leave my feelings in my office or go outside or take a walk or go to the bathroom, some quiet time just to get right. Because like you said, a dry bone scenario where it's just like, I've got to push for them and I'll get mine whenever I get mine. But I have to do it for the people that come in. And sometimes it seems like it's not fair. Sometimes it's it could be hurtful if you get caught up in your feelings about it, like, because you can say, what about me?
Yeah.
The truth is, once you say yes, it's no longer about you.
It's no longer about you, right?
So sometimes you encounter these things where it's just like, I would prefer to stay home.
Yeah.
Especially with my lupus, if that flares up and it's cutting up. I would like to sit down and somebody worship and pull me in, but that's not the assignment.
Yeah.
So just got to do what you got to do.
And how's the mental capacity dealing with that, the lupus? Like,
I would say that I am better than I was.
Okay.
Right. But when it's a flare up, I get frustrated because I can't control what lupus is going to try and do, and it's not the same every time.
Right.
There were moments where I thought I had it handled, and I thought I had, I'm eating this and always working, and I did good for this week, and then I wake up and I'm in excruciating pain all throughout my body, and I got, I'm limping to get out of bed. It used to be like, I'm never going to conquer this. Like, I'm in over my head. It's too much. But then, I don't know, I guess because I'm so full of word and worship, it don't stay there. You know what I mean? Like it tries to settle, but my roots are faith-based. My roots are word and it's just like it kicks it out where it's just like, get right. Or even being married to a pastor where he's like, nope, not today. Let's pray. Or King, my 7-year-old, he start praying for me.
Shout out to King.
Immediately, Mommy, you're not feeling good. And it just laying hands. God, do it for my mommy. Help her to feel better. Just so I don't even have, honestly, what I surround myself with, my environment, doesn't let my mind take over with the negativity, if that's making sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because my atmosphere won't allow it to stay there. Like, it's really like casting out those stupid thoughts, right? Because God ain't did it yet, but I'm crazy to believe that he can't, or that he won't. He's been answering everything else.
Yeah,
and maybe he won't. Yeah. But he's sustaining me through the whole thing. So, like, what's the problem?
Nah, that's good. And it's crazy because, like, no lie, I've been thinking all day, maybe yesterday and today, about this song has been in my head, right? And it's talking about "'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus." So, one, the song been in my spirit, but two, put you on the spot.
Oh, what?
Can you sing a little bit of it?
I can't do it.
Come on now. Just a little bit.
No.
Come on now. Let the people hear it.
Man, I'll tell you what resonated with me when you said that. So, "'Tis so sweet to trust Jesus, just to take him at his word." That part. Just to take him at his word. Right? Like, I'm glad you brought that up, because we got the church.
Come on now.
Just to take him, hold him accountable to what he
said. Come on.
And everything up.
Come on.
Like, God be standing on business.
Come on now.
I mean, take him at his word.
Take him at his word. And I think a lot of us miss that sometimes. Even myself, like, so I've been in this funk. Like, I lost my job, stuff like that. And, like, a lot of people be like, you should be a speaker. You should be a speaker. You should be. But then, like, what if that's not moving? You get what I'm saying? And then it's like, do I work or do? Then it goes back to, well, should I fast pray? Because the only thing, some things has to go through that step in order to be released. And so it's a mental game now, because it's like, well, people say you got to work, you got to make money, but then I want to do this for God. I want to use my story to go. So, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to believe in myself, or am I going to, will I trust in Jesus? You get what I'm saying? And so now it's like, Ty, you have to get back. You and I'm so transparent on this platform because I don't care. It's, you know, I'm gonna tell you what it is, you know. And so, like, I wrestle with that, like, even now. So the fact that the song been in my spirit, it's like, don't just hear it. It's just like what Pastor said. Like, you can't come to church and give God an emotional worship and prayer and all this and expect God to move just then. Like, you get what I'm saying? You got to stay in that. And it's that word called consistency. I always hated that word. One, because of dating and how people just use it loosely. Consistency. Like, you don't even hit, like, well, we ain't even going to talk about it. That's a whole different subject. But, you don't get no feedback. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how to move. But it's that thing of staying in him and understanding that, hey, like, it can't just be because you cried on Sunday, Ty. It can't be because, oh, I feel it right now. Because sometimes those feelings are just emotions and they're not real. Right. Feelings don't always be true. You could feel something and it not be what it is.
You got it all wrong. And what I love to quote Pastor Mason on is, God is moved by your faith, not your feelings. Right? And so we feel like if he sees us cry, if he sees us depressed and hurting, that he should move. But that's not it. It's really like that woman with the issue of blood.
Come on,
like,
now.
Yeah, she had her days of crying and feeling depressed and being angry and frustrated and all of that. But what made him turn around? Her faith and consistency and persistence to move through the crowd and press and say, I don't care if he sees me or not.
Right.
If I can just get my hands, I'm good. Look, she was content with just touching him, not him praying for her, not him talking to her. I don't even really need to be in his presence. It don't have to be a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Let me do this, and I already know.
You got it.
It's done.
It's done.
I already, and that, woo, you making this church.
Come on now.
That's the mindset that we have to remind ourselves of, that but that was work that she put in too.
Right.
It wasn't that he, like they did with the bringing Jesus to certain people. Hey, come see this, or my son is dealing with this, or my daughter, and then I need you to come to my house. I want to go to where you are. I'm chasing after.
So I press through the crowd, getting elbowed, getting hit, getting smacked.
Not to mention
getting overlooked.
Not to mention I'm not even supposed to be out there.
Right, come on now.
What I'm dealing with.
Come on now.
The way, and I don't care how they look at me. I don't care what they think about me. I don't care, because I have a mindset, right, to get what I'm going for. Like, I have a mindset to not walk away empty-handed. I'm determined. So even with this employment thing, if you're saying, people are saying you should speak, but if you don't really feel that,
right,
you're it's like we sit and it becomes stagnant, and you like, well, that's what they said I should do. That's what they said. And then it's, can I do it?
Yeah.
But if you really believe that you can, go for it.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Let's do it.
I'm right there. I'm like, I know, like, let's say in college, I always had a slang problem. But when I stood before people, I didn't realize how it sounded to them. So I would always criticize myself. But then I go and ask my peers, hey, how did this sound? They was like, Ty, you was fine. Or my professor would be like, great presentation. Yeah. But in my head, I done beat myself up, hit myself with haymakers. Yes, you know what I'm saying? And I know people in my life like, stop, like, Ty, stop doing that too. Like, stop putting yourself down when others not even putting yourself down.
Right.
You know, and so we battle with things we shouldn't battle with, all because we put ourselves there.
Yep, unnecessary struggles. And I'm so over that in this season. I'm so over. Okay, so I got this thing where I've started introducing myself as Tori.
Okay.
It's in my name. My name is Victoria,
right?
But I've always wanted to be called Tori. Just never caught on with people. So Vicky was what stuck. And my family members laugh at me right now, but I'm like, y'all, it's really that whole cocoon butterfly thing for me.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not that Simon Peter type scenario. Like, I'm not asking you to call me that because it's cute. Yeah. I'm saying that Vicky had her season, but the level that I'm going to, I changed my name.
Yeah,
like, it's different, you know, and I just feel like the more I declare that, and the more I walk in that, and the more that I'm okay with that, the more it becomes real, not just to them, but to me, because I have to convince them of who I am now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now, my name has changed. My mentality has changed. And I'm still Vicky to, like, my mom and my dad. I get it. Yeah. But who I am to the world, who I am to me, Vicky come with a lot of baggage. Vicky come with a lot of hurt. Vicky was the one that was so depressed and suicidal, and Vicky had a lot of issues. Tori is benefiting from everything Vicky went through.
Yeah. Come on.
But I'm walking taller now, so I just feel like once you have a new identity and once you see yourself differently, you go about everything else differently.
That's true. Yeah. And that's a confident thing.
Yes.
And confidence, yeah.
I got this thing where I say my confidence has to line up and catch up with my calling. Right? That calling has always been there.
Yeah.
But my lack of confidence, I got to catch up. Because the calling is what I want anyway.
Right.
You know, so, like, why am I? And then the fact that he gave me the calling, knowing all the mistakes I would make.
Come on.
Knowing who I really was inside out, and you still call me to greatness? I'm tripping. Why am I stuck? Why am I stuck on it? And you forgave me already,
right?
Or you knew that it would, like, it's in the journey. It's in the mission for me to just make it there. Like, you wrote the plan out for me.
Yeah.
For I know the plans I have for you, Jeremiah 29:11, and I'm tripping to stay in an Egypt mentality.
Come on now. Oh, wait.
This is my exodus. This is our exodus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm so sick of barriers. I'm so sick of, like, being in that elevator. And then not only being in an elevator, but you're having, like, that anxiety attack because you're claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So you break the walls down. That's why when I've never done. I've wanted to be on a podcast, but I've never done it.
Right.
I've done my own little thing, but it's somebody being with me. But the comfort where I was just like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's different.
It's so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm Tori now.
Come on, Tori. Shout out to Tori. Come on. Tori Mason. You know what? So that puts us at a good spot. So after all of that, and then now you got something big coming up, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell the people what you got going on, because this thing is about to be a game changer.
Man,
for sure.
It really is. It's really it's that civil rights movement. That type of feeling. Unleash Your Glow Conference 2024. Let me start with the acronym of Unleash. When God gave me Unleash, I was at work.
Okay.
Sitting at the front desk, and it's quiet. It's COVID. And I hear like a soft unleash. Like it was like, and I was like, I turned around to see if somebody was playing behind me or what. And then I heard it again. So I was like, okay, let me write that down. And then I heard uprooting. And I was like, what is this? What is it? So I'm writing it down. And then I was like, okay, so acronym, but what is the rest? And he gave me uprooting, negativity, loving exceptionally, and shamelessly healing. Man.
Come on, no?
And my first question is, I know you don't want me to talk about shamelessly healing as much as I've gone through, and I don't want people in my business.
Right.
But the transparency has been so healing, and that's how it turned into the conference, because I'm not the only one.
Right.
It's so many people out there embarrassed about their story. It's so many people out there that is just, you get up, you wake up in the morning, get ready to go to work. And what we don't see that we're doing is we're dragging all of those past things with us, whether it's in our pocketbook, our book bag, our mind, our heart. We lug all of that heavy stuff, and the uprooting is just for that. We don't know how to let go. We want to, but we don't know how. So the uprooting of the negativity, so that the love can come in, so that the healing can begin.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, we hold on so tight because I'm never gonna forget what they did to me. Yeah. I'm never gonna forget how I felt. And what is the benefit of that? Like, it was really this whole moment where I had King, and I was just sitting on the side of the bed, and I was listening to Leandria's Better Days Are Coming.
Come on, man. That's the song right there.
Yes. I was listening to that, and I started weeping, and it was just like, I want to let it go. I'm tired of holding it. And that's what this conference is representing, like, for not just women, but for men, for children. My depression started as a child. Getting bullied in school and picked on because I'm too dark, or my hair is not super long, or the mole on my face where I actually busted it, but that's another story. But just the conference is all about really getting down to the core of who people are. Like I've shared, it's not just about preaching. You can go to church, you can go to YouTube, you can get all of that anywhere. It's not just preaching you happy, because we all know happiness is contingent upon everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
It's about you really finding that glow. That's why it's Unleash Your Glow. It's about you really finding the light on the inside of you, and the light comes from Jesus, comes from Christ. So this is just about the true healing, the essence of people. Like, it is okay that you went through all of that, but just know that you can overcome it. It's not just game that we're talking. Like, it's not hype. It's the truth. And when he gave me that, I really had to walk it all out, because after he gave me Unleash, a lot of, my lupus diagnosis comes. Like, it's just so many things that I started running into that I was like, I don't know why you gave me this. Because it's that, like, I'm not even there yet. How in the world am I going to tell somebody else? It made no sense to me. But by the time the conference comes,
come on now.
You know, whether you're all the way out of it or not, you know how to. I got enough strength and know how to help the next person, right? And so this conference has a mental health specialist coming in. We're doing exercises to get down, like I said, to the core of who we are. This conference has women that will be mirroring other people, you know, that we go through too.
Right.
He does anoint us and he does use us. But we got some issues in our life too. This conference, which will be March 22nd through the 24th.
Come on.
Sheraton Imperial Hotel.
Come on.
Page Road. Y'all the favorite with that alone.
You know it.
So the conference is just, honestly, the conference is just about you. It's about you. What you need is all encompassed in this conference. Good singing, Melvin Crispell III, Grammy nominee, national recording artist.
Sunday's best winner.
Yes,
come on.
Sunday's best winner. He is going to take it to another level. So much going. Co-pastor Regina Boney.
Okay.
Lady Suzette Spence. Let me do the names since I already started.
You know
Patrice Rice.
You got it.
Prophetess Benyay Burgess. I hope I said that right. Elder Anna Kroons. I'm missing some. Rev D. And me.
Come on.
And me. Like
special section for somebody.
And me. Yeah.
We ain't gonna tell too much.
Right.
A special moment gonna happen though, you know.
Special moment.
A big moment.
Waiting on for a long time, and I've gotten so many no's and so many lies regarding that, but in God's time.
In God's timing.
Yeah.
And I noticed, like, even with the conference, so I know, like, in the beginning when the planning was happening, stuff like that, when we had meetings, there was I saw a certain perspective of it but I see a different perspective of it now, you know? Okay. So in the beginning, I'm not going to say it was like variation, but it was moving slow. Talk about that moment for this thing and then the great things that you have experienced since then with the favor that you spoke about.
Yeah, moving slow. Moving slow, the ticket sales. The people saying yes, the people responding to say, yes, I'll be a part of it. Did I say the ticket sales?
The ticket sales.
And everything coming together, it was moving slow, but the joy in all of that, for every delay, but not a denial, for every delay, God gave me another piece of favor in a place I wasn't expecting. Like whether it was with the hotel, whether it was the amount that I needed to pay for somebody or for something. Like it's almost like if I can just give you a scenario of like when you feel like you might be in the wrong place at the wrong time,
right?
Or you know, this just isn't for you, but the confirmations keep coming. Somebody walks by and say, I heard about you. I've been looking for you. Or hey, I would like you to come join me on it. Like it be and I'd be like, wait, the people that joined the team of Unleash and just took it and started running. Like the sponsorships,
Come on now.
All I can say is that if I ever doubted myself,
come on,
God made sure that I knew it was Him behind the scenes the entire time. He's there.
Come on now.
Do you know that?
Come on now.
Waiting patiently.
Come on now.
Oh man, like I could cry if He's done his thing in the most subtle way. Like he's just not boisterous and aggressive. It's just like here, she's losing faith here.
Right.
She's doubting herself here. It's that type of move. And I'm just like, God, I'm not worthy. But apparently I am.
You are. Right.
no arrogance, but apparently I am, and I'm beating myself up too much. That's how I can identify with you. Apparently, I'm 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 just trying to learn how to see myself the way he sees me.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And going through obstacles does not take away from who you are going to be. And so a lot of people think, it's almost like when preachers preach about, oh, you come to Christ, better life, money, da. Well, that's false because it didn't say when you come to Christ that when you come to God that the money is going to come, you're going to have a big house, everything will be peachy. No, you're going to go through things for his name's sake as well, whether that's from people or just opportunities that may fall. And so, like, even though it may look like it's falling too, it's not, and so that's where it goes back to trusting Jesus, right? Right. Just to prove itself more and more. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so even with myself, like I took the first step to send emails out to schools and the detention center, university, and my old high school, right? A university said, no, I don't anticipate in having you. I gave too much information on a culture that they may not understand, though. So a lot of times it's not the fact that it's a no.
Right.
Sometimes we have to also understand how to attack certain things. Just like it goes back to, well, if the devil's fighting, Pastor said on Sunday, we got to fight like hell then. It ain't that he cussed. He was talking literally hell.
Right.
Like if hell don't work, then we got to work. Right? And so we have to understand how to attack things, how to market ourselves, how to be confident, how to still look at the positive even when we're in the valley. You get what I'm saying? And so yeah, so I mean it's one of those things, like, but it also gives Jesus a chance to save us, to show himself who he is.
That's the whole point. Like there was a piece in the song that I wrote that says, as I'm walking this walk, I feel like I'm walking it in my own strength.
Right.
But it becomes apparent, it becomes obvious.
Yeah.
That is your strength that strengthens me.
Right.
Like I have nothing to do with it. I'm a vessel.
Right.
And we really get caught up in thinking that we make moves, we make things happen, and then that's when you he flicks.
Yeah.
Make you understand real quick. It ain't you.
It ain't you.
I can use anybody.
Come on now.
But I chose you for a reason. But don't get the big head. Sit down.
Right.
Humble, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed like a lot of people are talking about, the self-love and all of that too. And I got two perspectives on it. Like I believe in self-love, but you can't be so caught up in self-love because it actually makes you selfish. Because you're going to miss out on opportunities where you're supposed to be selfless for someone else.
Right.
But you're so caught up on self-love, and that's not Corinthian. You get what I'm saying? Like that's not it. So
I like that. Yeah. Can I counter with that?
You can.
So even with self-love, which I struggled with, I became a mom at 19. So, all the love got to go to the baby. And I did not know how to be selfish because I'm already in charge of another life. I already have to, put everything that I want aside for someone that didn't even ask to be here, and give him all the love that he needs. I love self-love because if you don't know how to love yourself, nobody else will. Right? But it's that balance, because you also have to have a level of selfishness to choose you first.
Yeah.
I did not know how to do that. It was, and my cousin called me out on it recently too, on a phone call that we were FaceTiming. She was like, "You're a people pleaser, cuz," and I was like, "No, I'm not." She was like, "Yeah, you are. Think about it." But honestly, it's like, with the church, they come first.
Right.
With my household, they come first. And sometimes I have my husband has to remind me, take a day for you. Don't take calls. Go get your nails done. Go stop doing your own hair. Go get your hair done. Like go shop and do something for you, because if you don't, you end up burning yourself out.
Yeah.
Because you're giving so much away and then you're depleted, right? So I like that selfishness comment that you made. I would just I would just add that those of us that struggle with it, we need to learn that good balance.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
tightrope, because being selfish and only thinking of yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Man. But to
Yeah.
say that I'm not going to, because listen, I dealt with abusive relationship. So that in itself made me like, I want to please so you don't get mad at me. Like, it's amazing how I didn't see that growing up, but I fell into that trap because I just wanted somebody to love me a different way outside of what my parents did.
Right.
But it was a certain love that I was chasing for to fill this void. And it was like, I'll do everything I can to make you happy. I know this won't the topic.
No, you're good.
It was like when my husband and I were talking, it was like, he was like, I need you to do this. I would like for you to do this. I would like for you to change this. And it was a healthy conversation, right? We're trying to make the marriage absolutely amazing. So we have to be honest with each other.
Right.
And I just said, okay. Like, this was a few years ago. I'm not talking about a long time ago. Meaning that it's still sometimes a struggle that I have to fight. But he said, I thought we were done with the conversation. And he said, well, wait a minute. Like, what do you want? What do you expect? And I started crying because nobody's ever asked me that.
Come on.
And it was just like, and he was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, yo, I didn't mean to cry. But the fact that you asked me, the fact that you care, that I care, and now I got a list of things.
Let me run it real quick. Here we go.
But just the fact that you want to know so that you can be better for me. So a level of selfishness is what I have to learn to have, because selfishness comes easy for some people. For some, it doesn't. I guess it just depends on your path. But I love that you said that because it's insightful. It might be something I talk about at the conference. Yeah. Yeah, balance that.
Yeah. Because I know y'all got a segment, right? Right. And so my thing too, and I wanted to ask this, I'm glad it's here now. So when it comes down to marriage, and I know my process of dating is a little different, but where do you see the man and the woman standing in today's time as far as being married or getting to that point of being married? Because I seen a wrestle, social media, personal stuff, where when you have an alpha female, it's hard to be that guy. You get what I'm saying as well. And so it's a wrestle. It's like, I should listen to her because she's the woman and this. But then what about my voice? Right. So like, I feel like it's a wrestle now with couples, prior to and probably also inside of the marriage. So like, what is your insight on that?
Well, we talk about one of the things we've already talked about in our Straight Talk segments is kind of like going back to the basics. You got to remember the purpose of God bringing man and woman together in the first place, right? Man has his role and a woman has hers. We're both alphas in this marriage.
Okay.
I wasn't aware that I was an alpha, but my journey, maybe I always was, according to him. But I know my journey made it louder because I have 3 sons.
Right.
The single mom role. And I got to lay the law down. I don't need them to disrespect me. I need to make sure they're mannerable. I need them to know I'm not a pushover. So you kind of got to play both parts. And I didn't want to, but I mean, who gonna do it? You know, and I have, not that I was trying to take anybody else's place, but I had to do what was good for the house because they're looking at me. We're living together, so they're looking at me. So in my marriage now, I've had to learn that he's not taking the alpha away from me. So he's not going to lose his voice, but I'm not going to lose mine. But what I've had to learn to do, because it is a wrestle, he often says I put on my karate suit when I am adamant about getting my point across. And that comes from, the old relationship, just not my voice not being heard. But what I'm grateful for is you got to know what to pray for, Ty. Like, and I know that's cliche, but my prayers stopped being tall, handsome, money, his own job, good car, like all of the stuff the little girls be talking about.
Some of them probably just clicked off right now too, listening to this.
I'm saying good hair,
Yeah.
pretty eyes,
Yeah.
so that the baby can have, all of that stuff. And my prayer started becoming, God, I need somebody that can handle my anointing, because I recognized that was breeding conflict. Because if I'm asked to minister or do something, now it's a problem for me to keep going out, for me to always have to go do something that somebody else is asking me to do. I need somebody that can handle my anointing and respect the flow that God does in me. I need somebody that is a problem solver. I don't want to solve all the problems, right? And one of our things was, he'll say, women always talking about they don't want to have to lead. They want a man that will lead, but then they don't know how to stop trying to be the leader. I'm guilty, but it's like, but that's why I need you to be strong enough to help me get rid of that. You know what I mean? And all that is just trusting that you can do it, because we have to see it, consistency. We got to see it on a regular basis. And now that's like, oh, I can take my hands off. Like, oh, he got the boys, he can handle it. Oh, he knows how to make sure if the house is on fire, that he knows everything we need to do. He got the escape plan in place. Not that I don't know it, but he led it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, y'all, let's do this. And I just started praying things like that. I need a man that can pray, that has a relationship with God. It's not just me going to church and me, investing in a relationship, but he's a tither, so that it'll cover and bless our house.
Come on now. That's the biggest one. Woo! Come on.
Yeah, that's so. But that that takes the wrestling out of it. When you go back to the basics and find out why Adam needed Eve, but why Eve needs Adam too.
Right.
So it's really not just about alpha beta scenarios, because two alphas can make it happen,
right?
Clearly, but it's all going to be work. But when you're the man of the house, we have the expectation of you being the man without being the bully, right? But the man of the house is, okay, like he'll say, this ain't working. He don't have to yell at me, but he'll be like, okay, let's sit down. Let's come to the table. Let's talk about this. These are my feelings. Tell me how you feel. And we always say it's not about being right. It's about getting it right.
I like that.
That's it. I mean, that's it. It doesn't have to be a wrestling match.
Yeah.
You know your role and your place. You state that, and she states hers. Just don't try and take my voice away. Like some men are really, unfortunately, like bothered by, they call us too mouthy, or, they call us too mouthy and too much attitude. But if you love me and everything that comes with me, and I gotta take your mouth and your attitude, it's almost like y'all feel, not y'all.
Yeah, I got you.
It's almost like the men feel like they don't have it, and we're the only ones with it. And it's like, wait, you don't see your stuff? And like everybody comes with it. No certain gender or color or like, it's all of us, right? But it's from the past. So we all got baggage to deal with each other. But that's why you got to know you got the right one that's worth you unpacking that bag with.
Right.
Or like Mason did for me, taking every brick down off of my wall, and then even if I put the brick back up, he put it right back in the corner. Like, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
And walking me and talking me through it. Some of us just need a reality check. Some women, just shake me out of it and let me know that you're not going to do me the way everybody else did me. It's really like a fear thing, like just, I can't trust men.
Right.
Because
yeah,
it ain't gonna be any good.
Hey, well, you got a good one now, so
I do. Shout out to Pastor Mason.
Yeah, Pete Mason. I've been needing to sit down with him too, so I know we're gonna make it happen.
Yes,
Yeah, but so just piggybacking off that real quick, gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
How do you all feel about gender roles?
Ooh. So okay, I'll start with this. He when we were dating, he asked me, he was like, "How do you feel about washing clothes and cooking and cleaning the house?" And I was like, like everybody got to do that.
Right.
Not knowing it's a trick question. That annoyed me with the trick questions. But we not gonna go there.
Yeah.
But he was just like, when I grew up, my grandmother did this for my grandfather. He went out, made all the money, and came back. Dinner was ready, the house is clean. The old school role, right? And I said, I don't have a problem with that, but that's not me. Like that's just not me. I will wash clothes because we have to have clean clothes.
Right.
I mean, I'm doing what's necessary, but is there a love and a joy like to be that housewife that walks around in that apron cleaning? No. But if that's what, honestly, I felt like he was worth me doing that if that was his mindset.
Right.
But I didn't feel like it would take me back into the caveman days. But when we defined our roles, because I tell you, just yesterday he washed the clothes. It was a rough week for me. I had infusions and my brother being in the hospital and all of that, and he did it right. And acts of service is one of my love languages. So I'll say when it comes to gender based roles, it has nothing to do with the gender. It has everything to do with the love language. And I feel like when you love somebody the way they need to be loved, not the way you want to love them, but the way they need to be loved, right? You can't just say, well, this is what love is to me, because that's not what it is to me. So one of mine is acts of service. And he found out about that just recently, 2024. Okay. Hallelujah. Where he did, an act of service, and I went berserk. Like, oh, what you need me to do for you? Like,
come on, shout out to Tori Mason.
Yes, and he loves to be rewarded, like any of us do. Yeah. So it was like we're learning that it does not mean you're not a man if you wash the dishes, or wash because when you were single, who did it? Right. So like now that you get married, why your woman got to be the one to do that? You know what I'm saying? So we really share. He cooks more now, not in the lack of me cooking, but it's just we do breakfast together. Sometimes we're cooking together. Sometimes that's a date night. Yeah. Like it's just I feel like we need to stay away from gender roles. Yeah, I think that's what messes us up.
Right. And wait, you said cooking together is a date? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, so we'll be like, what's on the menu? What do you want to have? And I say, I want this. He'll go to the store, pick it up. All right, babe, come on. We clean our hands. We go down in the kitchen. I'm pescatarian. And so my food has to be different, but the sides we share. But it's just like, you cook this and I'll cook this. And then we sit down and eat.
That's tough.
Valentine's Day, he cooked for me.
That's tough. Shout out to Pete Mason. Hey, shout out to Pete Mason.
Say what was on the menu. King crab legs.
Come on, king.
Salad, the king.
Come on, huh?
Salad, sweet potato, baked potato, and something else. But like, yeah, he had the whole room was set up, lights low, and just kids got to stay upstairs, But it was cold too for Valentine's Day, so I didn't want to go out.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay away from the roles. I think that's that box thing that messes us up. Like, I don't know. It's just if you only see me as the housewife,
right?
We messed up anyway. Right? Like, just stay away from the roles.
Because I know biblically, like when I went and read it, and I had a conversation with one of my old heads about it, but he was like, I had read that the job of the man is to love the wife as God loved the church. And in the role of the wife is to respect her man and not put him down. Yep. It said nothing about bread. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. None of that stuff that you were talking about earlier, like 6'5" or we can have preferences,
yes,
but if the relationship don't have substance, that's why for me, no matter if I'm broke or got money, I don't care. I want to know, can we vibe without having to go out on a date? Like, can we still reach each other and have a good day without me having to do certain things? You get what I'm saying? Like, where's the connection?
Right.
Because what if we lose this? Definitely where the world going now. What if we lose this access? Can we still rock out together? Right. If somebody come question my faith or your faith, will we remain in Jesus or will we bow down to them? Just to stay alive. Like stuff like that. Like I want a spiritual partner, but I want to have fun with my partner and I want to love my partner, you know, and I want them to love me, respect me, stuff like that too. Right. Regardless. Right. So I like to wash clothes. I wash my own clothes. Oh, that's good. I cook, I clean, you know. I do it.
But and if she expected you to, it's a different feeling,
it's
right?
Different.
Because
it's different.
Like, now it's a chore, and now I'm the maid.
Right. And we don't have that. We don't need that. Yeah.
Like, you ain't washed clothes today. Like, what you doing? What you doing?
Right. Why you can't go wash?
Right. We struggled because I was unemployed when we got married. And, you know, it was,
yeah.
It won't. It didn't work.
Yeah.
So we tried it, and I'm unemployed again. But, you know, It's like, it's so different now because we really had to go through that phase because he really had expectations that were unmet. But a lot of those he didn't verbalize as an expectation. And so now I'm like, I already told you. Like,
yeah.
But why do you think I have to make sure the house is immaculate before you get home? Like I don't have a child in here, and like they're not, like I'm not doing anything. It was just a real conversation, though.
That's dope.
It was rough.
So listen, straight talk. It's gonna be at the conference, so make sure y'all get those tickets. Once again, y'all just got a little snippet of so some information. But listen,
and then we got some pastors coming in too, with their women, the first ladies, so that we can have that kind of conversation too. That's separate. That's another panel.
No, that's dope, but it's gonna be very transparent.
Yes.
So, and I know, like I mentioned before, like on this platform, for me, it's all about being transparent. Yeah. Like I don't think I would ever have somebody on set if they wasn't transparent.
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? If you're gonna be closed off, you're not gonna really be honest and stuff like that. And so I'm thankful for your honesty. I learned a lot sitting here, But I got two things. So real quick, I do a segment called Take It to the Streets.
Okay.
So what that segment is telling who you were before Christ and then who you became when you had that encounter.
Oh man. So to try not to give a typical answer. Who I was before Christ, I only knew him through my mother's relationship, through the people at the church, but he still didn't seem real. He was really like somebody that you would read in a book, right? I never felt like I felt his presence. I told my mom, I remember telling her, I don't have a testimony. I don't know if I'll ever have a testimony. I don't know why y'all shouting and bucking and crying and doing all of this all the time. I felt like a rebel. I think I was more of a rebel, and just like, not that my life wasn't bad, but it was just like, I don't understand, I didn't understand him for myself. I don't know who y'all talking about. I know him in theory, but I don't literally know him for myself. And so I don't like that song, A Ship Without a Sail, like all over the place. It was not that I wasn't one of those kids that got in a lot of trouble, but I think that was just the standards from my household, like how I grew up, and just, I never liked to get in trouble, but I don't know. I just felt like, I never talked down about God, but I never, he was just somebody that I heard about. Whoever he is or whatever he looked like. And then, back then it was, it's got a man, it's got a woman, he's black, he's white. Yeah. And now it's just like, it's too much. The Bible too hard to read. Yeah. I'm not interested, so I just say I was just lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Lost and broken and just frustrated because I didn't see any comfort in him. And then my encounter with God, I had just had my son. I developed what they call pseudotumor cerebrum. So I had like swelling in my brain that caused pressure to the back of my eyes. So my eyes would always be like super puffy and bad headache, sensitive to light. So I had to have an eye surgery. And I was singing with this group called Deliverance. Um, we had to sing that night at a church in Durham, and I was singing with shades on. I didn't take my painkillers because I didn't want to go to sleep before we had to minister. And now I got the gift to sing, but I don't really feel nothing from it. Right? It's just everybody say I can sing. For real, that's so messed up to say it out loud. But, that's how I felt, and it was just like I'm just gonna go, and do it because they're dependent on me, all of that. And then after we finished singing, I was so ready to go. I'm up there with a patch on my eyes, some shades, and I'm just like, I don't need to be here. So I sat down, and I heard a whisper, "It is well." So again, I turn around like, who said that? Nobody's behind me in the pew. And then the pastor gets up and he said, I just heard the Spirit of the Lord say, it is well.
Wow.
I lost my mind.
Wow.
I lost my mind. I have never screamed in church. It's always the cute little praise because I like the music. It was never about giving God praise. It was who could dance the cutest back then. I don't even know. I can't even tell you. I know I didn't have a 1-2 step. I probably did a cartwheel, a somersault. I screamed. It's really a blur. I just remember screaming in my seat and I jumped up. I don't remember what happened after that, but I lost it because I'm like, here I am with no relationship and you talking to me?
Come on.
It changed my life. It changed my life because I felt like I mattered at that point. I felt like he was there all the time, because I'm starting to get angry with him because of what I'm encountering. I had a high risk pregnancy. I lost a lot of blood and almost died on the table, and they had to bring me back, tube down my throat and all of that. And just, me and God ain't in a good place.
Yeah.
And he tells me it is well. He told me and the pastor. I lost my mind. And I get misty eyed when I think about it because all we really want to do is feel like somebody cares and that we matter, that we're special to somebody. And he gave me that. And now that's why I'm so radical when I praise God. I'm so extra because I'm so grateful. I don't care what nobody thinks. Like when I'm hyping up the musicians or I'm jumping and screaming and I'm in the front, I don't know who might, I'm not going to put it on nobody. So people might think I'm just doing it for the show of it.
Right.
But man, like he talked to me when he should have ignored me. But he didn't. And I'm like, I'll never sit down on you again. Now I'm thinking about, you didn't have to bring me back. I could have slipped into death without ever seeing my son. And then after that, they tell me I'm supposed to go blind. So that's why I have the eye surgery because of the condition that I developed after that. And then I'm still sitting here singing gospel music.
Come on, God is good. God is good.
He is. Yes, he is.
And it's a reminder that he don't come for the perfect. He come for the sinners, the lost sheep, right? Yes. And the thing is, and I think a lot of people who aren't believers that listen to the podcast has to understand, like, and no, I'm gonna say this for the believers. We have to understand that when it comes to people who don't believe, there's a certain posture you have to have for them. And listening to your story, you admitted that you was lost. That's the difference. Rather than somebody telling you was lost.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I know I was lost.
Look, I was saved.
Yeah.
I was because they call you down there.
Yeah.
I got in that backslider line. I don't know how many times.
Come on now, me too.
I got saved. I don't know how many times. Right?
I need to save it now.
I need to save again.
Come on now.
I was saved.
Yeah.
But I was so disconnected from God. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
No idea.
It's true.
Oh, but he
I
showed
feel
up.
you. I feel
I
that.
didn't even give him credit for what he did. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother.
It is. I didn't even give him credit for bringing me back. I'm talking about when they call in the code,
Yeah.
blue or red, whatever it was, and rushing in there to bring me back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I wake up, people are over me crying, and I'm like thinking something happened to the baby because it's high risk. His heart rate dropped, so they had to do the emergency C-section. I thought I lost him. They said, no, we thought we lost you. What are you talking about? And then it's stupid now, but it's just like, yo, I was missing the blessings and the grace and the favor and the mercy. Grace, getting the things that I don't deserve. Mercy, keeping me from getting the things that I do deserve.
Come on.
I'm forgetting the mercy, and then I'm still walking around like he owe me something.
Right. He don't owe you nothing.
Nothing.
And they ain't obligated like we spoke of. He ain't obligated.
And then when your grandma would say, if he never does anything else, he's already done enough.
But we want to say the universe and crystals did it.
No, the trees and
the sage. But this not to put anybody on blast. But for real, like we gotta understand, like it's a creator of those things, and he don't want us attached to everything as well. That's why he told him not to eat of that tree. He made it. It's there to eat, right? But he said stay away from it.
You don't need this.
You don't have to attach yourself to everything that's out here.
Oh, man. Preach that. That was good. What's your second one? You say 2 or 3. What's long before we get to preaching?
Before we close out, where can they purchase the tickets?
Yes.
Any other good old information for the conference?
Yes. So tickets, unleashwithladyv.com. Unleashwithladyv.com. Instagram, Unleash Now Conference. Facebook, Unleash with Lady V or Victoria Mason. Tickets, we have VIP, we have basic, we have vendors coming, we have a pampering room that we got going on right now.
Okay.
Where you can come get your makeup done right quick, some lashes or some skin, whatever products and stuff, facial right quick.
Okay.
Before the conference, we start that Friday. Registration starts at 12. We have a VIP meet and greet with Melvin, taking pictures and just hanging out and vibing. That's at 5:30. The service starts at 7. That Saturday, we start at 10 a.m. What am I missing? Like, we just, like, I don't want anybody to miss this because you are like, she's not Sarah Jakes. Can I say that?
Come on, say it. I mean, yeah.
I don't want anybody to miss it because they're like, this is not Paula White. This is not Priscilla. Like, just we look at the name for the reason that we come to something, right? Opposed to looking for the experience that we get for attending. That's the difference. Like, these people have no idea who you are in the first place. You're supporting the cause. And what God gave me different was there's overhead costs, yes, to put enough people in a nice place. But it ain't about the money. I'm not getting rich from this.
Come on.
It's not about the money. It's just about the encounter that God is convincing me that you will receive by attending this conference. I'll be bringing the word that Sunday morning. I just show up. If you want to invest in you and you're tired of the cycle, you're tired of moments becoming cycles, moments being the momentum for the rest of your life, show up. Invest in you. Invest in you.
That's it.
Yeah, for real. Don't say I don't got it. Like,
come on now.
You know what I mean? I ain't got the money. But you in Starbucks line like every day.
Come on, talk about it. Step on my feet.
I mean, oh, I gotta get them shoes. They on sale now, and or going out to eat because I don't feel like cooking.
Come on,
it's there.
It's there.
But you gotta see the investment of let me just give this because I'm looking for something, and we all are.
Yeah.
And it might not be for you to get that Sunday morning at church.
Right.
It might really be divine intervention that you do not miss this opportunity to come because it's devoted to you.
Yeah.
It's Sunday morning ain't devoted to you, but it's for you. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about with you in mind, like everything's set up just for you.
Yeah.
I would never want to miss that just based on I don't know them or they not big enough for me to show up to be a fan.
Right.
To be a groupie.
Right.
Show up because you need something from God.
Right.
And it's going to be there that weekend.
It's going to be there. And guess what? When it happens next year, it's going to be even bigger.
Yes.
So listen. So understand, despise not small beginnings.
Absolutely.
Right.
Listen, I started in the fellowship hall.
Come on now.
I started in the fellowship hall, about 30, 40 people. We're at the Sheraton Imperial Hotel. God is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I do have to say this. My biggest cheerleader for the conference, always, in honor of her life, her push, her drive, Wanza Jean Moore Cole will be honored. She's going to be in the VIP section.
Come on now.
We're going to shine the light on her as bright as I possibly can because she was a big part of why I believe in me, of why I have to see myself bigger.
Yeah.
Certain things, no, that's not big enough, lady. Like, and I'm not mourning, I'm celebrating.
Yeah.
Right. And although I know her presence will be there, I want to see her face. I want to see her face because that smile on her face just solidifies all the ups and all the downs of preparing the meetings, the tears that I cried every time I would share the good news of something went right or the bad news that something went wrong. She availed herself to me, and I'm going to show up big for her for this day because she was so looking forward to it. So
you have to.
Yeah, she's my VIP.
Shout out to Wanza for real. Because I remember when I first came to the church and like that Sunday, her presence and like you said, her smile and like she'll point at you and be like, just like, come on now, like she was supportive. Like I think in my moments, cause I was going through a really dark time then, really, because like after I stopped playing, I'm coming because one of the word that was being given, and I was like, I could come here because it's coming real. And I remember it be moments like, she'd look around the church and then look at you, and it's just like it brought me back. Just sometimes just to see her smile and then her embrace of a hug, like yeah. In my short time, she definitely was a pillar to me. Continuing to come there as well. Yeah,
she did so much
for sure.
More than church for me, and she made it clear we're not related by marriage. You are family. Period. She took up for me. She like everything. She, helping with King, picking up kids, babysitting kids, helping us move in and out. Like just she was in every area of my life. Every area, and there's no way I could do this without honoring her. There's just no way. So
it's gonna be monumental.
We're going hard.
You know it. Well, thank you once again for coming through. To the listeners, make sure y'all tap in.
Yes.
Follow her on her platforms. Purchase the tickets. If you in Durham, come through the Greater Love Worship Center.
Yes.
1415 Holloway Street. You know it. Just come through it. It's a good time. And it's not like it's not a performance. It's a move. It's a passion. It's a anointing that is in that place. And you may come and you may not feel anything the first time, but don't give up on it. So as you as you continue to live, sometimes it's the second Adam, right? Come on now, it's the second, and so we have to realize that God will move in your life, but you have to be willing. I feel like if you learn anything from this podcast today, it's the heart of to be willing to listen to God, to go through the moment, to talk to your husband, to confide in one another, not put each other down, you know. And so I always say before I leave out, to love as Christ is to live as Christ. And for my unbelievers, to love is to live, as to live is to love. So regardless, like, love is that healing medicine that people need, whether it's a hug, an embrace, conversation. Hey, I see you. I'm proud of you. You know, give that to the people. And today, too, I put on this sweatshirt intentionally because we have to start, right? A lot of times we have thoughts and our thoughts have started, but our actions are still on hold, right? And it's until you put those actions into place that you would be able to then prevail, right? So I sowed the seed of sending emails. I got to know back, but I started, right? You started in the fellowship hall. Now you're at the Sheraton Imperial. You might have a PNC one day. You see what I'm saying? Come on now.
Why not?
Listen.
Why not?
Listen.
And look, I intentionally put on Unleash.
Come on now.
Because I am no longer bound.
No longer.
Man.
No longer.
Only up from here.
You know what?
Even on the bad days, it's only up from here.
It's only up. So make sure y'all follow us. You know, Eternity Living Brand Podcast, Eternity Living, T.Austin22 on Instagram, and check us out on the next episode.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
That was fun.